let's stop right there. Okay.
No, that's not what you said.
Don't go over.
That's how it is. But we invited them, everyone. Luigi and Simone. Big hands for the Italians.
Thank you, Oyvind. Can you hear me? Yes? Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. We are very happy and honored to be here, in particular this conference for Norwegian coaches. It's a long time that with Oyvind we have been trying to organize this meeting. So I'm very happy today because we were waiting for a big day, and today Italy and Denmark and Norway are against in a big match. So I'm very happy of this. As Oyvind said, my career started a long time ago, more than 30 years ago, and I was very lucky at the beginning of my career as a coach because I knew two persons who changed my way of intending the profession of coach and of teaching. The first person was Ricardo Piatti. I met Ricardo in my town, in Torino, a long time ago. And with him, we started a collaboration. We have been working together. He was very young also. He was starting with the 4 juniors that were Renzo Furlan, Cristiano Caratti, Christian Brandi, and Federico Mordiman. These 4 boys were 4 boys for the Italian Federation. They were 18, and when they came 18, the federation decided not to invest any money, no more money on them. So Ricardo decided to quit the federation and to make a sort of bet. And he decided to follow these guys because he was convinced that he would be able to drive them to the professional tennis. And that's what happened, really. Renzo reached the 18 ATP ranking. Cristiano Caratti reached the 27th in ATP ranking. Christian Brandi reached the 13 ATP doubles ranking, and he also played in Davis Cup as a double player. And also Federico Mordigan was a good double ATP player. So both, all the 4 players became professional players. That's how it started, and also my experience started because I was with him all day. We shared the programs, we shared the practice. After that, he continued his career as a coach, and as you know, he has been coaching a lot of professional and high-level players. Because at that time, Ivan Ljubicic came from Croatia because of the war. You remember the war in Croatia and Bosnia. And we hosted him, and we started with him. He was 14. We started practicing with him, and Ricardo, when he was 16 and 17, took him to Monte Carlo. And they started the career, and then you know that Ivan became number 3 ATP in the ranking, and even coach of Roger, and also a very good manager. So that's the other story. Then after Ricardo continued his career as a coach with high-level players like Nole Djokovic, who stayed with him for 2 years when he was 18, from 18 to 20. And then Richard Gasquet, Milos Raonic, and all these players reached the top 10 ranking with him, and also twice the ATP finals. About 6 years ago, a guy from the mountains, from the Italian mountains, whose name is Yannick Zimmer, came to Bordighera. Bordighera is the city. Here you can see a picture of our center. is a city very close to Monte Carlo in the south of Ligurian and French coast. Here is in Italy because we are on the other side of the border, but very close to France. And when Ricardo saw this guy, this player, say, okay, you stay here and you don't go home no more, because obviously he saw that there was something particular in this guy. And so Yannick started practicing with him, and now that's the story. And today Yannick is, I think, one of the best junior. I say junior because he's so young. He's 20 years old, and we are continuing to put all the experiences that Ricardo had into the program. So today, in particular, in this afternoon, we want to talk about a little bit, just a few minutes, how we organized our academy. You must imagine that normally when we talk about academies, tennis academies, you think of 24 courts, 48 courts in general in the States, when the States, all the academies or the tennis universities are very large. And also in Europe, we have a lot of very good tennis academies in Europe. Here, close to us, we have the Moratoglu Tennis Academy, which is it's about just 2 hours driving, just to 2,200 miles from us. So very, very, very good and very big academy. We have also the Rafa Nadal Academy in Marbella. So it's, you know, it's very. There are a lot of very good facilities. This idea of Ricardo is not to have a large or big center, but to have a very small center and to concentrate his experiences in as much as possible on quality. Try to be to give the maximum of quality to each student, not only to the best, because of course. If we think of Sinner, of other players that have been trained, Borna Čorić, or as we said before, Milos Raonic, but just to give the same quality. If you watch here, we have small kids, and here is the other, and this is our situation always: just 2 kids or 2 players, as you prefer, on courts, no more than 2 on courts. And normally we have 1 coach, 1 head coach who gives directions, and then another coach. So the ratio is always 1, 1, 1, 1, 2 maximum. This is just to explain how we want to do this. So you say, okay, you have just 4 courts, because we are 4 hard courts, and then we also practice on the clay courts. We have another club, and this it also is the oldest Italian club that was founded by the English people. When the English people came at the beginning, at the end of the last century, so at the end of the 19th century, they founded the first Italian tennis club in Bordighera. And that's where we also go with the clay courts, and so we use also this court. So we normally work on 4, 6, 7 courts every day. But you know, 4 courts, 6 courts are not so much for an academy. And if you put 2 players on court with 1 or 2 coaches, you know, how can you manage and how can you sustain this? That's how Ricardo called me, because that's my job, and that's I try to give an organization that could sustain all this activity and all this quality. So I want to show you just a few examples. We started from our main goal, that obviously is to be a world-class tennis talent factory. The goal is to grow and train top player ATP and WTA. So this is our main goal. And when we talk about top player ATP, WTA, one could imagine, okay, professional is about the top 100 in the men, or top 100 in the women. For Ricardo, it's not like this. When he talks about top player, he thinks of someone who can, not top player because of the ranking, but someone who can win a Grand Slam tournament. So that's the goal. As you imagine, it's a very high level of goal. But this is our main goal. So we are also working with young kids at the moment in the academy. They come not only from Italy, but from all over the world. And there are very good players who try to reach this main goal. To obtain these goals, so obviously, we need some other goals. And so we decided to identify 4 goals, starting from the talent scouting, because this is very important for us. Even if the center is very small, we have a lot of players and coaches coming because of programs that I will show you later, okay? So we don't just have resident players at the center who stay all year long at the center, but we have a lot of players and coaches who come to practice with our method and with other coaches. So this is one of the first goals. The second goal is always to stay on the technical part. So Ricardo developed in the last 20 years a method that we'll talk about later. This method is very similar to what Dennis made in the last year, when because he started to understand coaching players that it was useful to define many steps, easy to reach, and also for us as coaching to apply. So that's why we try to put a lot of attention to teach techniques technically in a correct way. And this is very important because we need a common language as coaches. We are about, at the moment, there are 20 coaches working in academy, 5 physical trainers, and then we have physiotherapists, osteopaths, and video analyst and match analyst, Simone. But all these coaches have to speak the same language. And as you know, it's very difficult to work together and to have the same language and the same idea or the same vision of the technical and tactical aspects. So that's why it's important to have a method. And that's what now is very recognized, not only in Italy, but also all over Europe. We are very recognized for this method because it's very simple. You can do it to anybody, not only to big players, also to kids, to adults, to any kinds of players, and obviously is common forever. Another goal important for us is to educate our coaches, because we have different level of coaches, of course, into the staff. And during this working 1 year in the academy is very important. And so that's why we also started a relationship with the federation, and also the federation in the education programs send us their coaches, and they stay there for the internships for some periods of 1 week, 15 days, also 1 month, and they also continue their education working in the center. So sharing all the ideas and all the methods with our teachers and coaches. And then, of course, this is the most important, to sustain everything we need, of course, an economic growth. And this is the most difficult part, and that's what I'm doing right now, because of course, as I said before, to do quality and to sustain such a program is not easy from the economic part. So that's why we try to explain how it works. Okay. Here, very easy, you can see how we are organized. We have the owners, a board, a sort of board, with administrator, manager, of course, who decided to share with Ricardo this experience. Then we have Ricardo is the coaching director, so he supervises all the programs for all the players and coaches. And we have divided coaches in different levels. As you can see, we have elite coaches, elite physical trainer. Daribor Silora is also, you know, the physical trainer of Yannick. Elite physio, Claudio Zimaglia is the physio and osteopath. We have head coaches, we have coaches and assistant coaches. And related to the goal of education, for instance, this coach, Giulia Bruschi, started as an assistant, then after 1 year became coach, and after 2 years now she is head coach. So it's a good also opportunity for young coaches to come at the academy and to learn and to practice and to also to grow their level and also, of course, also their professionality, also the economic part. Okay, we can start. We have different players, as I said before. We have resident players. At the moment, we have about 50 players resident in the center. They come from private situations, so families normally. They come from federation. We have about 15 of them are supported economically from the Italian Federation and one from the Bulgarian Federation. And then also we have a lot of players coming from agencies like IMG, Top 5 or similar that can support their program and their progress. But the most important part of the economic part, speaking from my part, is not the resident athletes, because we prepare some packages with consulting players, and so we have the possibility to sell different packages. They are about 30 days a year, 50 days a year, 70 days a year, 120, 100 days a year. So one player can buy this package, and with his coach or with her coach can come to the center, and then for periods, for short periods or longer periods, it depends on the schedule. And so this is very important, because every week we have players who come, who stay for short periods, then go back to their home, they go to play tournaments, or they come to their club, they continue practicing. With Simone, who is doing the video analysis, we continue at distance to check their progress. They come again back, and so that's how we progress with them. And this program is very good, and we have very many contracts of this situation. Of course, as an academy, we have also stage player. Stage players are normally the weekly players who stay 1 week or for a weekend and come to the center. Testing day is just a formula, just to know the center at the beginning. So we offer 3 days of testing day to know the center and to know the method and to start probably a collaboration. And then we have also contacts with many tennis clubs in Italy and also Switzerland and France, with other academies, with tennis schools, and also with federation, because Ricardo also last year signed a contract with the Italian Federation, and now he is responsible for all the under-16 boys group. So we have also this situation of players, very good players. They start from 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16, so all the ages, and we can monitor with the coaches and with the federation coaches their progress. And so this is another important project that we started. For doing all this, we needed to have a model, because it's not easy in 4, 6 courts to put all this together. So during the pandemic, everybody was home, and we tried to imagine how to improve our organizational model. So studying, watching, reading, we tried that. We found that the most similar model was that of Ajax football in the junior and in the education system, because this system of Ajax had the same points in common with our academy. There was a mission, there was the right values as a core, there was a philosophy, and Ricardo had a philosophy. There was a culture in school. Also, we have a great relationship with the schools. There is very multilateral. There are a lot of group of trainers who train together. We use a lot of technology, and Oyvind knows that, because we have the opportunity to share sometimes ideas, and since a long time. And as you can see, we had the same situation. For instance, the Ajax has this TIPS model. They use this as a method, is a standard method of improving the football skills for players. And that's why we developed this one. This is the Piatis Tennis Center model. It is quite the same. We just changed. We put some, try to adapt to our system. And from this, that's what we can have as a model. Here you can see what happens from the line here up, out of the court, of course. And here is the on court. So first, our model starts putting the player and the family at the center, at the middle of the project. So the player is not of Ricardo Piatti, is not of Luigi Bertino, is not of Piatti Tennis Center. The player is the player. The player stays here because he needs some services. We have to guarantee to offer services to this player to help him to develop his best, but is not our player, okay? So one of the goals of Ricardo is to obtain from players autonomy and not be dependent, okay? Do you understand this? Okay, so this is the player. We think of technical direction. There is not one technical director in the academy. We have a board, a sort of board of people, the coaches. Dalibor is for the fitness part. We have a psychologist, but they are a sort of team. So this technical director gives the project, defines the goals to the player team. Who is the player team? Again, is not a coach alone. So each player doesn't practice with one coach. Example, think of Yannick. If you have seen Yannick this year, during the tournaments, he changed 3 coaches. Okay, Ricardo is the boss, is the supervisor. But in the USA, he was with Andrea Volpini, which is one of the elite coach of the center. And in Sofia was with Christian Brandi. So he works with a team. He has a team working with him. Just speaking about coaches, okay? Not physical or something like this. So this is the model. So we don't want to personalize the coaching. So if you are 12, if you are 14, this is much important. So you have a team, 2, 3, 4 coaches that can take care of you, but they have to work together. And then Ricardo, of course, he gives the technical direction, gives the inputs and the goals. But there is a team, not only a coach. Okay, and it's not easy to transfer to players and to families, because you know when you have a good kid, 12 or 13 years old, he thinks he needs a coach, a personal coach. He needs a personal trainer. He needs a personal psychologist. And sometimes in Europe, we see in Italy, but also in other countries, there is a sort of specialization also in the team, too early. So that's not our idea. Our idea, when he was 16, he played the Italian Championship in Sanremo. Sanremo are, in Bordighera, it's about 20 minutes by car, okay? Italian Championship under 16, so it's about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. He was in semi-final, and the coaches said to Ricardo, "Who goes to watch the match, senior match?" And Ricardo said, "Nobody. He goes alone." "Oh no, come on, Ricardo, semi-final, Italian Championship. We don't." No, he goes alone, and that's what I want to see. What's going on. So that's just to explain how his philosophy is not to put the player into a system, a fixed system, too much, I don't know how to say, but too much followed. You know, of course, there is a rigid program, there are some goals to reach, but the player must be as autonomous as possible. And that's what we want to try to transfer to our players, okay? The last, just to explain the rest of the picture, is in this 6 model, we have the athletic part, so the physical. Here we have the medical part, we have the mentality, the mental area, the tactical part, the performance, and the technique. So what happens? If the player team needs for the player more consulting, more experience, because probably there is a problem in the performance. Imagine that one player is very good technically, is very good physical, is okay, is healthy, and no problem. Mentally is very tough. Tactically, he knows the pattern, he plays good game. But when he plays matches, something wrong. He comes to the match ball and he loses. So probably he needs more help in the performance area. So the performance area, one of the best coaches in the club, in the center, is Christian Brandi. But Christian Brandi is not in the team. So how can we help a player? So that's why the team must go and pick Christian Brandi for some sessions and say, okay, sorry, Christian, I need you because twice a week in the afternoon you stay with us and on court and help our players in this area. That's how we want to use this model. It's, as you can see, it's not complex, but if you don't use this model, the risk is that any coach on their team, they do on themselves. So one group goes in one direction, one group goes in another direction. So there is not the same version of the truth. I don't see the phrase, but we want only the same version of the truth. That's the goal. Okay. Okay. Now. I talk about the method because this is very important for us because this is our language. We have also foreign coaches in our team, one from Spain, Karim Parona, who has also been coach of Robredo and Flavia Pennetta, is very good coach from Spain. We have Max Phillips from UK, who just arrived 2 years ago. And French coaches also. So we have different language also and experienced coaches. And so the problem is what do we teach and how do we teach? Because we are about 20 coaches, okay? So it's very difficult not to have the same language. And Ricardo developed this method that is based, as you can see, on a series of steps that I try to synthesize for you and to explain in this way. as you can see, the method, it's not a technical method. It's something that starts from the watching what happens during the match. What does a tennis player need to play good tennis? That's the first question. So Ricardo analyzed this during his career, using his experience, and he reached some opinions that took him to the rest of the progression. So, if you want to reach these goals, these tactical goals, and if you want to reach the best of your performance, you need to follow a certain path or development. Okay, so I would start with the first. So if you want to change, Simone, okay, just now I leave Simone going up because we will show you step by step our method.
Okay, good afternoon. Yeah, Luigi said that Ricardo is a professional tennis coach, and the main goal of a professional tennis coach is that each player reach the performance. So in this case, that Yannick win lots of match, and maybe win tonight, maybe the main goal. So the method starts from the performance, from the match. What happened during the match? What's the main goal that has Yannick during the match? Yannick wants have the control of the game, of the match. So in this case, we start from this video. This is a point of last year. We see this is the distance of Yannick from the baseline when landing from the split step. Yannick find to hit the ball, to move forward to hit the ball every time. So start from the baseline and now is 30 centimeters move forward. And then after hit, finish the shot and then go back. Find the recovery position, again. Move forward and go back. Also when there is a lateral movement, like in this case, a little bit move forward, because Yannick in this case can move back and take time to hit the ball. But it's difficult for him have the control of the game, push the ball like he wants. So it's important for him have every time move a little bit forward, also in the lateral movement. Then it's important for him reach the right position and then push very well, and so stay in the same position and go to the net. Because the idea of Yannick is of universal player. So start from the right position, then go forward, go to the net to finish the shot. Also, if he's not a good player for the volley or for the smash, but his mentality is reach the net. So it's important, obviously, move well the racket, because I don't know, a simple example, if Yannick move as a long preparation, it's difficult for him move forward because he needs time and so move back. So for Ricardo, the first thing is how the player move the racket. Tennis is a racket sport. It's very important for be a good player, move very well the racket.
Your microphone is not on.
Oh. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, perfect, thanks. Move very well the racket. So the first thing for Yannick and for all players, Ricardo watch that the racket is a little, the top of the racket is higher of the hands. It's very important because in this way the racket is not heavy, it's light, and the player can be relaxed in the ready position. It's very important. Also, the best young player of the Italian Federation, when there is a stage, there are some good players that start with the racket in this case, or the top of the racket low the hands. So it's difficult. Yes, it's difficult for them start with a relaxed position. So it's not perpendicular, but a little bit higher of the hands is important. Then the first thing that Yannick do when start the preparation is, okay, the rotation of the shoulder, and for Ricardo is that the player show the face of the racket in front, because if the player show the face of the racket, the coach is sure that the player turn the shoulder. Is a very important tip for our coach, this of the face of the racket, because sometimes if I start like this, the first movement obviously is like this. It's difficult. If I start with the top of the racket higher, it's more easy move in the right way the shoulder. So it's very, very important for us, like the player start in the ready position and the first part of preparation. So the preparation is very important that the hands are down the line of the shoulder. Because if I want move forward, it's very important that the preparation is not too long. After we watch a video about this particular. So this is the end of the preparation. This is the power position. Is the most important phase of the swing of the movement in the forehand. It is important that the right arm, the player extend the right arm, and also that the top of the racket is a little bit higher of the hands. So it's very important, arrive in this moment in timing. So it's difficult to arrive in timing if the preparation is too long. So start acceleration, okay. The left arm, for Ricardo, is very important, the left arm, the non-dominant arm, because, okay, in the first part is I use the left arm to turn the shoulder. Then it's very important for the balance and also for find the correct lateral distance. Yannick every day work with the left arm, because sometimes now when hit the ball is too much in front with the right shoulder and then lose the control. Is a problem when arrives in Bordighera 6 years ago, the same problem. For him it's very difficult to control the left arm. So the first 5-10 minutes when start to rally, for him is very important, is focused only about the left arm. And also there are many professional players that has this problem. I don't know, when start to collaborate with Muguruza or other professional players, Chorich, the same mistakes in the forehands. Then finish the shot is important for the player. Okay, the right elbow up and then finish the shot. The right foot is in line with the left. It's very important if the other things are in order. So, Sharapova. Yannick and Sharapova, completely different way to approach the forehand, but the same idea of technique part. So the top of the racket higher of the hands. Then Maria was incredible because the right hand are open in the first part because he's lefty. When was very young, the father asked her to play with the left hand for 8 months. So for her it's very easy starting this way, and for Ricardo it's very important this because if the player starts in this way, the first part of the strokes, the right in this case the right arm is relaxed. It's very important. Yannick hit incredible forehand and backhand because he's ever relaxed when play. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, the hands down the line of the shoulder, extend the right arm back, hit the ball, control very well the left arm. The two hands are in line. It's very important, this thing, because in this way the left shoulder is a little bit in front of the right. It's very good to transfer after hit the ball, to transfer and then through the ball with the racket. And then finish the shot. Okay, this is an important video. This is Tyson, 10 years old, Federico, 16 years old, and Yannick, 20 years old. If we watch the video...
The last thing you said was is if you hit cross-court or straight,
So,
what's your mind? You said your left
Yeah.
should be a little bit, yeah. But when you hit cross-court or straight, do you think?
okay, yes, it's a little difference, but it's important for this player. Use the left arm because, I don't know, Yannick sometimes when won't play cross, go too much in front with the right shoulder and then lose the control of the body. So for Ricardo it's important that if you won't play down the line, cross, or if you want, it's important that you have the right distance, lateral distance, and then you are in balance when you hit the ball. So it's important that left arm help the balance. And then is how, if you prepare a little bit early or not, if you want it down the line or cross line. This video, if we watch this video, we watch the movement of the top of the racket and the movement of right hand. I repeat. We can watch that Tyson, Federico, and Yannick have a small circle with the right hand movement is a large circle with the head, top of the racket circle. Why? Because the hand is for the control. So it's not important have an incredible preparation with the hands. It's not for the power. The head of the racket, the top of the racket, needs for the power.
It's because it's the racket who gives power to the ball. When you hit the ball, power comes from the racket, not from the end. What gas come from the end? Control. So you need control at higher speed. So that's why probably Yannick is able to hit so far and so strong and with such a speed, because I think he's one of the in the circuit who hits the ball more harder than from forehand and backhand. And if you see him physically, okay, he's a tall, but it's not a big, so strong player like Basilashvili or
Kachanov.
You must think of
Nadal.
big giants players. But his shots is much faster than the other. And probably that's what we think, that because he used a short circle of the hand and a large circle of the racket. So if you just to be clear, if you do this, or even if you prepare like this, the circle is short, but also the racket make a short. So how can you store energy and velocity? So the racket here is lighter, the hand has maximum control, and at the same I can have maximum acceleration and power. So that's the principle that we use. We try to use.
Yeah, the idea in the beginning I start with the idea is tennis is a sport racket, and Yannick won't move well the racket to reach the best performance of their shots. Okay, now from the frontal view, the same thing. We watch that the first thing Yannick show the face of the racket, and then the hands are down the line of the shoulder. Then hit the ball and finish the shot. Okay, now the backhand. Forehand and backhand are completely different shots, but we watch the same thing. So we watch that top of the racket is higher of the hands. The first thing Yannick showed the face of the racket. In this case, for Yannick, is more natural the rotation of the shoulder from the backhand. The backhand is his shots, yes. Then the hands are down the shoulder. We can watch that extend the arm back, and also the head of the racket is a little bit higher of the hands to reach the correct space acceleration. Then drop the racket with start the acceleration, and then the follow through with the elbow up, and then finish the shot with the back foot in line. Okay, also Maria, completely different. Also the grip are different of Yannick in the backhand, but the same thing. Show the face of the racket, extend the arm, hit the ball, and finish the shot. From the frontal view. Okay. One hand backhand. Okay, it's important for Ricardo the left arm. I know one hand backhand, in this case, Roger play with the right arm, but the left arm, we can watch. Roger show the face of the racket in the beginning of the movement, and then here, the left elbow is a little bit down of the left shoulder, but is up. It's very important. Sometimes the young player play only with the right arm, with the right hands. If you watch Roger, okay, at the end of preparation, it's very important this window. It's possible only with the left arm. If I work with the left arm, it's very important to reach this situation. The face of the racket, the lateral, and then the right arm relaxed. It's very, very important. Then the left hand help the acceleration until the left hip, and then finish the shot to balance. Okay. In the serve for Ricardo, the first thing is the balance. For the young player is the balance. He preferred that the player use the foot back serve. Now Yannick returning the foot back serve because the player has more balance. So the first thing is how what is the position of the feet. It's important that the feet are parallel to the line. Obviously the back foot, but also the front foot, in this case the left foot. Okay, from the left is more easy. From the right a little bit maybe open, but the right foot is very important that is parallel to the line to push in the acceleration. So the second thing is the rotation of the shoulder. We can watch Roger in the second video. The first thing is move the shoulder, and when start to the toss, when lifts the ball, the racket is okay. The left arm is a little bit higher of the right, but the racket is not in late. Yannick has this problem because the racket of Yannick is very, very in late. So it's difficult for him reach the correct position in timing. So this is the reason tomorrow we watch the evolution of the serve of Yannick. This is the reason because Yannick now has a toss more higher because it's difficult for him to the timing of this shot. Okay, this position is very important. That balance. And then important thing for Ricardo is that the player push more up, not in front, but up. Federer land to the line, not too much inside the court. Also for the foot up, now we watch Maria. She starts with the top of the racket a little bit higher. Start the rotation of the shoulder. The feet are parallel, and then push up and landing to the line. Okay. This is the technique method of Ricardo. It's very important for Ricardo and for our coach work in the technique part to help the player to solve the problem in the match. So when start the evolution of the method is when start to rally, Yannick think two things. The first thing is move like in the match. So start.
Sorry,
Yeah.
just to be clear, when the player reaches these goals of the ends, all of Simone showed you until now, then the player has to enter the second aspect of the progression.
Yeah.
That is the rally.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to work on the racket movement first and to be sure that the racket moves in a correct way, because if it moves in a wrong way and it goes to practice that during the rally, that's not the right way to do it.
Yeah, Yannick, when start to rally, think to don't miss in the net, first thing. And the second thing is moving to the ball. So start 2 meters from the line, it's 2 meters. And then 2 steps, hit the ball, finish the shot, and then go back. Every time, every time, every time. After the pandemic, after he doesn't play for 1 month, 2 months, when restart to play every day, 6 days in a week, the first 25 minutes start with 1,000 shots, 1,000 rally with a partner, yeah, without missing the net. Although all of the week are, just a moment, all of the week 6,000 rally shots, only 5 mistakes in the net. So for him is very important.
Repeating this routine always. So going forward,
Yeah.
transfer weight and go back.
It's important for him create a habit to start the rally. Why is important moving to the ball and not back? Because it is very important. The reason is Sharapova was incredible because if I move forward, it's more easy hit the ball at the right height. Maria was incredible, play match, play from the basket, playing rally, and hit the ball at the same height. Here I can push, I can change the ball, change the trajectory, change the spin. If I hit here, it's difficult. If I hit here, it's difficult. So it's very important to create this habit when start to rally, when start to the training session.
This is challenging. Try to take a video of your students, of your players, when they start rallying. And you will see how many times they hit in the right zone, in the strike zone, as you call it, or in the wrong zone. And you will see that a long percentage of balls are hit or too high or too low. So sometimes we don't give much attention to this aspect.
Yeah. Then the next step is obviously change the ball, change different depth, different direction, varying in the ball. So yeah, the spin, also the spin. Yannick works a lot of slice with the backhand. In the match, prefer use the top spin, but when practice, use 5 minutes, 10 minutes every practice. Use only the slice, and it's very important. And it's very important every time move in the same way. Start from back and move forward every time, and then finish the shot. Okay. Then obviously there is also the footwork and the movement. So sometimes Ricardo, yes, want that Yannick play forward, but sometimes use some drills to train the movement in the court. That's very important also in the match.
Did you notice something? Did you notice something in these movements? Something that in the footwork? Just watch on the foreign side. Do you notice something particular? On the side, on the lateral movement. Normally,
Crossover step in front.
this?
The crossover step in front. You mean the footwork?
Yes, that's a good way to move. But look at the stance. Normally, when we teach lateral movements, we ask our players to arrive in an open position sometimes, open stance like this. I speak for myself. I practice and I trained a lot of exercise and drills on this, even with the fitness brain. Okay, in this case, we changed the concept, and we ask the player always to reach a neutral position as much as possible. Okay, sometimes it will be possible because you are late. Okay, but if you are early, if you move the racket early, if we consider all the early steps that we have seen, starting from the racket, starting going through the ball, hitting the ball at the right height, if I do all this, okay, I can stay always in the better solution to hit as fast as possible. So the open stance is just an emergency stance for us. It's not to be practiced as a technical, you know, because the way to hit the ball, as a bit mechanic says, is to stay in neutral position. That's what we think about the forehand. And even during the movements and the footwork drills. Okay.
Yeah, the final step is the match. If we watch this point, yes.
So if you're hitting angles, if you also hit, then it's more easy with the setup, for example.
Yes, it's the same question of the before. If you hit the cross court or down the line, it's okay. Of course, if you have to change the direction a little bit, you have to adapt. You can stay like this. I'm not saying that you have to stay in a close position. This is okay. The important is to transfer the weight from backward forward, and you must be able to hit the ball and then transfer. If you transfer, your power sums the effect, the energy. So the ball is more powerful. So how can we hit fast without injuries, without too much energy extensions? We must be relaxed and we must be early on the ball. And we must transfer ball easy. The best way to transfer, if you hit javelin, you stay like this, because this is the best way to transfer weight. If you do like this, even in all the throws disciplines, if you imagine, okay. So that's why from our side, from the back, from the forward side, we think that even if you have to play, okay, you will play here a little bit open, but you have to hit and transfer and keep the left shoulder in control during
when hit the ball, yeah.
But we also coaching a lot of beginners and so on.
Yeah.
So for us it's easy just to keep control, but some means blocking instead.
Okay,
So
probably yes.
Technique.
You must be. You can try different exercise or drills just to help it, not to block. Okay, of course. You must be able to analyze the situation. It's not like this, you know. It must be always in a relaxed situation. It must be very easy. Just imagine a throw. If you throw a ball, and keep the. If you throw like this, you don't know where the ball goes. That's the principle.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Thinking on the last exercise that you said, neutral stance.
Okay.
It could be, is the reason because to reach a neutral stance, it requires more steps, better steps or better calculation to be behind the ball that's why maybe you are doing this with Yannick to
Yeah, of
to
course.
get him faster with the footwork? Or?
Yeah, of course, if you do this, fai vedere il nuovo esercizio su giù magari, quello da di là. If you do this exercise for 5 minutes at a high speed, after 5 minutes you are very tired. It's very
Tough.
tough, and you need it's a training, it's a practice session. So you cannot do this for half an hour in a row because it's very tough. You must imagine you have to hit, transfer, and go back. Prepare, go to and prepare. And every time doing this, it's not. There is a good video of Nadal on the YouTube, and maybe you can go and search, that explain this to a young kid in his academy. And he says, okay, you have to move, you have to move, you have to move. And the kids after 1 minute say, okay, but this is fatigue. Okay, that's what you have to do if you want to play tennis. That's what Rafa says to these students. It's very funny, but very useful. And you can go on YouTube and search for this. It's not an old one. It's very recent. Okay, so I don't know if I answered your question, but of course, if you know that you have to stay in a neutral position, you have to move. Use one step more, tramp to, and go back and then you want one step more. It's easier to do like this. If you play like this, you don't move. You just move 2 or 3 steps. You know. Imagine your juniors when they start the rally for warming up. How many times we see the racket down? They hit the forehand like this, even if the ball is easy, even if the ball is in the comfort zone. How many times we see this? No, if the ball is easy, you have to stay like this, hit and transfer, even if it's the first ball of the practice. So starting from the first ball, Ricardo says always that the first ball and the last ball of a session are the most important. How do you play the first ball and the last ball? So that's all.
Yeah, this is the final step, the match. So we can watch how Yannick changed the ball, push the ball, change the rhythm, the trajectory, the spin, and when he find the ball in neutral stance when it's possible. Every time, not only with the backhand, but also with the forehand. When it's possible, find the ball and push. And change every time the rhythm. In the last year, Yannick played very well, but playing the same way, only strong, only push the ball. Now, he start to change.
We see it again, because every shot, look at here. Here, high. High.
Push.
Here, push. Flat. High and deep. Here, flat and strong. Flat again. Here, high. And so switching the trajectories and rotation. High. High, defense. And again, push. High. And look at the angles and directions. Look at Monfils. He made kilometers in this point. Like, and Yannick, yes, he moved, but he moved very, very low, very small spaces, and not so much. Okay, but you can do this if you are able to do all the rest. So that's Yannick. He was 14. Yeah?
14, yeah, in Bordighera, yes. When arrives, important thing. Every part of the method is not a one-day method, okay, tomorrow play incredible. No, it's a long period. Now we can watch Yannick when start, we can watch the hands are to eye in the preparation, also in the backhand. Backhand is the best shots. We can watch where is the right and the left hands in the preparation. The serve, how is in late with the racket. So the path of the player is a long way. It's not a short period. It's difficult for the player understand every part of the method. It's not easy. This is an example of the method for a professional players. Maria came in Elba Island in Italy to start to training with Ricardo and his team after lose Wimbledon. I watched the last practice on Instagram, YouTube in Wimbledon of Maria, and with Ricardo we see one thing that she can do better. So I show the video and then I ask you after the forehand what you can see. This is the first video when arrives. This is after 10 minutes that Ricardo tell her a little, yes, a secret. Yeah, it's a little bit early the preparation. Okay, and then when hit the ball, extend more the arms. Okay, I'll show you again. The same day after 10 minutes. Okay.
Where is the difference? What do you see?
Here it's ready position.
Ready?
She had a better athletic position on the right one. Than the start.
Probably yes, but it's not the
Is your head
is
right?
head.
Yeah, you just turning it less with your head.
Turning earlier.
The thinking of Ricardo, when we watched the video of the last practice before the Elba Island, was that Maria moves very well the racket, very well the racket. The only thing that can do better is finish the shot with the right foot and arrives in line with the other one. So I show you again. Because if she knows that must be finish the shot with the right foot, she organized the movement early. So start early to the preparation. Also in the backhand, the same.
So what we see is that she is earlier. Okay, that's what we see. But how she
Yeah.
make this change in 10 minutes? Anyone would say, everyone would say, okay, Ricardo told her to prepare earlier. Prepare earlier, so she, no, that was not the tip. The tip was when you finish the strokes, you have to hit and to transfer the weight. Just thinking that, to do that, she prepared earlier this. That's what happened. So this is the difference probably between teaching and learning. Sometimes we teach, we say, we give feedbacks and say, do this, do this, do this, do this. But sometimes we can be, okay, do this, but to obtain another, not to obtain that particular goals, but to obtain another goal. And that's what I discovered, that the most experienced coaches use this way of helping players, and not only for professional players like this, but also for normal players or average level players.
Yeah. From the back.
Look at this.
Yeah, in 10 minutes.
Giving the same tip.
Yeah.
Change.
It's important that it's the key for the forehand and backhand of Maria. For another player is another thing. So every player is different. The beautiful thing of our job is find the correct solution for every shot, for every players. This is the serve. Maria came to Elba Island especially for the serve, because as had problem with the right shoulder.
She was injured.
Yeah.
Bad injury before.
This is the first serve that when start. We can watch the right foot is a little bit in front of the other one. Ricardo asked only to put the right foot in the correct way. We can see there is more imbalance, the first thing. So it's more easy push up and not in front when landing. But the incredible thing is from the back, because without asking other things, change the rotation of the shoulder, because she knows that you cannot put the right foot here, but here. So it's more easy rotate the shoulder. And when arrive in the power position, it's very clear this technique particular.
So even if